Good morning. Today for religion, we are talking about the Feast of the Epiphany, because that is today. We celebrated it in Mass on the weekend. It's always celebrated the Sunday after New Year's. But the actual day of the Feast of the Epiphany is today. So let's go over some things about what the Epiphany is all about. The Epiphany is celebrated on the Sunday between January 2nd and 8th, while the actual feast day occurs on January 6th, 12 days after Christmas. In many European countries, the Epiphany, rather than Christmas, the Feast of the Nativity, is the day of gift giving. So they wait until the three wise men gave their gifts, and that's when they give gifts. The Epiphany is in commemoration of the gifts of the Magi, taken from Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 to 12. The Epiphany is a celebration of the revelation of God in human flesh. So let me read to you the story in Matthew with the visit of the Magi, chapter 2, starting at verse 1. When Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of King Herod, behold, Magi from the east arrived in Jerusalem, saying, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his start at its rising, and have come to do him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was greatly troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Assembling all the chief priests and the scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They said to him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it has been written through the prophet, and you, Bethlehem, land of Judea, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, since from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and ascertained from them the time of the star's appearance. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search diligently for the child. When you have found him, bring me word that I too may go do him homage." Was King Herod really wanting to do homage to the new king? No. After their audience with the king, they set out, and behold, the star that they had seen at its rising preceded them, until it came and stopped over the place where the child was. They were overjoyed at seeing the star, and on entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother. They prostrated themselves and did him homage. What does it mean to prostrate yourself, Vivian?
Lay down or kneel.
Yeah, bending down, laying down, kneeling. So you're bowing down. When we go into church and we genuflect and you go down on one knee, you're prostrating yourself. You're showing respect and honor. You're giving homage, showing that honor and respect. So that's what they did to the baby Jesus. They bowed down to Jesus. Then they opened their treasures and offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. After having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, because he was up to some nastiness, they departed for their country by another way. So they were able to stay away from Herod to help protect the newborn king. So the popular song beginning, "We Three Kings of Orient Are," is well known, but it's spreading a misconception. They weren't necessarily kings. These were more astrologers who followed the stars. Okay, so it is generally believed that the three kings were actually the astrologers. Had these three men been kings, they wouldn't have traveled by themselves. They would have traveled with a group of people. Think about when a king or a president travels today. Do they go out by themselves? No, they've got the Secret Service. They've got their servants, the people that help them, all their staff.
And if the president's ever in a helicopter, they'll also use two escorts.
Yes. Yep. In today's world. Back then, they didn't need quite so much security. But yeah, there's the security measures that are taken. So if you really think it through, we call them kings because they were the important men who came to Jesus. So it's giving them respect. But they weren't truly kings. They were more astrologers, and that's why they were following that bright star in the sky. Katie.
But why do they have to have at least a bit of money? Because
Well, I didn't say they were poor. Yeah, they had money because they were able to travel and to bring those expensive gifts. So yes, they did have some money, but they weren't powerful kings. The story of the visit of the Magi makes an important point about the role of the Messiah. Jesus is called the newborn king of the Jews by the Magi who traveled from the east. These men were not Jewish, but they still paid homage to the king of the Jews. They still knew, even though he's not our king, he's king of the Jews, he's the heavenly king. So they understood his importance. Matthew, who wrote to a Jewish audience, hoped to express the universal role of Christ in this story. These men were foreigners, but they honored Jesus as their king. Herod, who is not an heir of King David and not the rightful king of the Jews, was threatened by this new king and attempted to kill him. This reveals another important theme of the Gospels. Jesus was not to become a political king of the Jews to dethrone Herod or even the Roman emperor. Instead, he ushered in a new kingdom that extended beyond political regimes. So he wasn't there to be king of the land. He's king of heaven. Okay? He's the divine king. So doesn't care about your kingdoms on land. He cares that everybody gets up to his Father, gets up to heaven. So what we're going to be doing, my friends at home will be able to see the directions at home. We are going to be working on a modern day telling of the three kings, the three magi. So think about the modern day telling of the Cinderella story. I know that there's a lot of them online because Gianna, I think, has watched every one of the Cinderella stories because there's a lot of them on Netflix, on Prime, lots of Cinderella stories. We're doing something similar. We're telling a retelling of the three kings, but giving it a modern twist happening right now in 2022. What if the three kings traveled right now? We're going to enjoy this story, but we're not going to be silly. Okay, this isn't comedy. It's not like the skits we did when we were talking about the virtue of fortitude and we got silly with it. We're going to be serious, but we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. So we're going to use the graphic organizer to change over some of the things. So the newborn king of Jews, maybe he's the newborn king of the United States. Okay, because we wouldn't call, if Jesus comes today, we wouldn't call him king of the Jews. Okay, maybe we would say he's going to be the king of the United States. Maybe instead of Bethlehem, we say Brooklyn Park. Maybe instead of King Herod, it's the FBI director. Maybe instead of the three magi, it's scientists from Asia, Africa, and Eastern Europe. Maybe instead of a star that's lighting the way, it's emails being sent. And maybe for the gifts, they give them a credit card. Everybody loves a Visa card. A priest collar and a journal. These are just ideas to get you started. Should you look at this and say, these are all the things I'm going to do? Yes. No. You can take a few of them, but you have to do some on your own. You have to come up with some of your own. This is to help you start thinking, what kind of things could I do? They need to be comparable. When we say Herod, I said the FBI director because that's a person in power who can make those decisions. He's in power. Would I say my mom? No, because I love my mom, but she does not have power over the country. Okay? I'm recording, so thank you for being courteous. Okay? You are going to fill in today. We're filling in the top part, coming up with our ideas. Tomorrow we're going to work on our story. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye to my friends at home, and hopefully you're understanding, excuse me, friends, my friends at home, hopefully you're understanding the assignment. I will be going over it again tomorrow. Today we are working on the graphic organizer part, getting ideas of what we're going to be writing about. So we hope that you are having a good day.